This design was made in collaboration with my really good friend Saphy, and she is an amazing artist. She loves dragons and she even won a contest held by Photo Manipulation YouTube channel. And today I'm going to explain you how I created this design, and also I'm going to try to explain you how she created a dragon. And if you want to see the full tutorial of this artwork, you should join my Patreon account, because there I am going to give you even more stuff, the Nebulas picture for example, and even more tips and tricks. I started with this picture, then I placed some vegetation, some trees in the middle of the image. Then I used this mountain and place it on the left side. Then this right side of this picture, I place it on the right side. And then I started to add some flowers between them. Coming back to this mountain, I decided to flip it and to use it on the right side also. So I place it on the right side here. And then behind everything I placed those mountains. I added a mask to remove the sky. For the sky part I used this amazing picture by Aaron Visuals from Unsplash. Then I used some nebula pictures and I set them to screen. And here in the middle, the most important part is the tree. And I used some trees that I had from PhotoBash website. And because we have a night sky with stars, nebulas and so on, and the other pictures are made during the day, we need to adjust that. So what if I tell you that you can do that by clicking on one adjustment layer, so we can transform the day into night? You go to the adjustment layers and here you search for color lookup. And on the 3D LUT file you have to choose the one and only night from day. And instantly you see that my mountain look like that, and with this color lookup already looks great. So let's do that to the other ones. So now with using just one layer, one color lookup, my artwork already starts to look great, and we transform the day into night. The way I usually work is to start from the back and go to the front. And I will brighten up this area by using a linear dodge layer, and I will paint with blue because this area should be a bit brighter, not that blue. So I created a new layer and I set it to linear dodge. Then I took the brush tool, selected a blue color and started to paint. Then I double click on the layer, and here I use the blend diff, hold Alt and drag the right slider, and here you go. Then for the mountain and the rest of the images that I have here, I had to add some color adjustments and I had to add some blue in all of the pictures because we have a lot of blue behind, and also this part of the sky of the nebulas will cast some of those colors on my mountain. So double click on the layer and here on color overlay select color and decrease the opacity to around 35%, and I use this really bright blue color. And now I have this bluish tone to my mountain, and I repeated the process to the other pictures that I have used. And I ended up with my design looking like that after I added that color adjustment. If you want to have access to the full tutorials, join my Patreon account now. You will unlock access to the monthly assignments where I will give you really valuable feedback. You will gain access also to exclusive stock images, brushes, and be a part of a growing community that wants to evolve. And now for the samurai girl that I will place here on this rock, I started with this picture, which I have from Marcus J. Ranum. I selected her from the background. And for the top part I use this one. So I started with this picture and I have added a mask to mask that top area, and I used the top part from the other picture. And because she was looking to this direction and I wanted her to look up to my dragon, I had to select the face separately and to rotate it like that and hide the original face. Then the same with color lookup. I added some shadows underneath her I added a color balance to add some cyan and some blues instead of that color overlay. And Saphy decided to change the color of her dress, and she used this greenish color by using a hue saturation. And then she painted some hair on top of the original hair. And now let's move on to the overall shadows and also lights. So because we have the tree here, the tree should cast a shadow on the ground. And I added those shadows by using levels. I had to make the tree darker by using levels again. And because we have some lights coming from the sky, both left and right, I added exposure adjustment layer where I have added some lights on the sides of the tree, on those leaves. And then for the reflective lights, because the sky would reflect a bit of that light on the mountains and on the ground and on the trees, I used my method with a linear dodge. So for the mountain here on the right side, I created a new layer and I set it to linear dodge. And then I took the brush tool and with a red color I started to paint here on this side. Double click on the layer and hold Alt and use the blend diff. Drag the slider to the right and it will disperse that color. And then on the ground, of course, we should have a bit of those lights from the sky. So I repeated the process and painted some lights here on the grass so we wouldn't have the same green color. I added a bit of cyan and red color on the ground. And then I started to paint some atmospherical fog in front of the mountain and between the mountains and the other elements that I have added. And in the back of this tree and mountains far away, I have added here more fog. So I asked Saphy how she created a dragon. Of course, she is really talented. I couldn't paint something like that, so that's why all this collaboration exists, because she is so talented in drawing dragons. So she drew this dragon first on a normal layer and just reduced the opacity. And then she added a mask and mask a part of the tail, so it looks like the dragon snake is surrounding the tree. To make the snake, the dragon snake, glow, she used my method with the gradient map. Actually, Maxa Sabin invented that method. I used it, my magic glow method. I use it in almost all my tutorials. Another thing that Saphy did was to add some highlights from the dragon snake on the ground. So she basically drew some trails on the ground, something like that, and she used the blend diff. So she hold Alt and drag those sliders. Repeated the process with more blue light on the ground and added more lights on those areas by using exposure. So now we have some light that is projected on the ground from the dragon. Then she made a copy of the dragon and flip it and use it as water reflection. So she used again the blend diff here, so it normally look like that. And then she hold Alt, drag the right slider and also the left slider, and at the end she set the blending mode to screen. I really hope that you like it and you can try to recreate it. As an advice, try to collaborate with other artists in the future, because you will learn a lot of things.